I felt like a huge failure. I just remember thinking, I'm in my 30s. This huge risk that I took did not pay off. My visa in South Korea is in jeopardy, and I don't know what to do next. Let me run that back so I can tell you all what had happened and how I got there and what I've been up to since. Hi, friend. My name is Sewa, and this is my first YouTube video.
So excited! So excited!
I'm going to be documenting and sharing stories, things that I've learned, what life is like as a foreigner living in another country, just all sorts of things. And thank you for joining along. I'm not going to go too much into the whole process of having a business and what that visa was in South Korea. That would be a whole separate video. But I'm going to kind of talk about the tail end of why my business failed, why I had to change my visa. Like, I was down bad. And in the process of healing and like learning from my mistakes, I feel like I've got 4 specific lessons that I want to share with you. Quick backstory. For 5 years, I was an English teacher in Korea, public school and private. Well, first I did public school for 3 years, private for 2 in the Hagwon system. It was a whole thing. Got burnt out, discovered something else, found a way to do a business and have a business visa. So that's the track I'm on. I finally get the business visa. This is the D84 visa, investor visa. Again, a whole separate video I can make about how I got it. Because at the end of the day, I feel like because I failed at maintaining it, I don't feel like I'm equipped to talk about how I got it. But you know what? I did. I did have a business visa for almost a year, and that was pretty exciting. I was so focused on the visa, honestly, and what it took to maintain the visa. I don't think I put as much effort like I should into the business. And the thing is, when you are creating a business, it's 24/7, right? You are everything. You're your own financier, you're your own CEO, you're your own HR, you're doing the content, the website, the marketing, the research, funding, investing, everything. The thing was, I on TikTok was like talking about and marketing my business and my business visa. I was being a little vague about what my business is, but I was definitely talking about the business visa, and I was getting like consultations that way because that's what I was part of what my business was I can do consultations and I can help other foreigners navigate how to get the business visa. And I thought I did a pretty good job at it. I made a whole ebook. And if you did a consultation with me, the ebook was free, or you could just buy the ebook on Etsy. I put a lot of research into it. And I wanted to make people feel like they would be equipped with everything that they needed. My business, on the other hand, wasn't just about the consultations, but I was creating a mental health tech. And again, just like how I felt about YouTube, something that was bigger than me. And the thing was, I was doing it alone. I wanted to create a platform that would bridge foreigners in Korea, or any English speaking person, honestly, if you were Korean and you spoke English, with any type of mental health resources. Whether it was psychiatrists, physicians, Korean Hanywoons, counselors, therapists. And I wanted to create a bridge so that anyone that needed any help could basically, my patent was a platform where someone could say, I've got X, Y, and Z that I'm dealing with, and who do I go to get the best kind of help? And this platform that I was creating was going to assess like your location, your budget, and if you did speak Korean, if you did speak English. The thing was, a lot of great reception. A lot of people were like, yes, this is great and this was amazing. But not a lot of funding to make it happen. And here's the thing, when you've got the business visa, you have financial qualifications you need to make. Depending on which depending on which immigration location you're at and your luck or favor with an immigration officer, they might help you. They might take mercy on you. They'll extend your visa even though you don't meet the quota. Usually you don't meet the quota within 1 year because in general, businesses don't always do the best in the first year. So it's not like, I probably could have extended it, but my thing was I was failing. And it's not just that the business is to make money, but I've got my own bills, I've got student loans and the debt that's in USD that I still need to cover. And I wasn't making enough, period. So the first part about the business failing, I'm going to call it like my breaking point. This is the fall. And so lesson number 1, that I had to make was I had to pivot. I felt embarrassed because I talked about I'm a foreigner in Korea and I've got a business visa. I'm not a basic English teacher like you. I'm so sorry. I know it's like being an English teacher is great. Like, I'm not saying, but like I like did a whole thing about that on the internet. And so when I failed, yeah, your girl was embarrassed. There's a lot of shame. There's a lot of self wallowing. There's a lot of like, who am I if I'm a failure? There was a lot of that going on. And I internalized that failure very, very deeply. So wherever you're at in life, if you feel it like you're starting to suffer because of some things, like sometimes you have a goal in mind, you have something you really want to pursue, and then you pursue it, and then it sucks or it's dragging you down. Hey, in this life, just pivot. Pivot. As long as you are alive, you've got multiple chances. So, in this next chapter, we're going to call it Facing My Ego and Falling into the Comparison Trap. And with this lesson, the biggest thing I want you to take from it is like, it is okay to fail. Because that's what I had to go through. Mind you, this wasn't even my first time failing. This was the second business I had in Korea that also failed. Like at this point, I was just like, dang, is it me? It's starting to feel like it's me. But so what I meant with the comparison trap, if you relate, let me know. It's just this idea of obviously comparing yourself to the people around you and you're looking at them and you're trying not to be a jealous person. At least I was. And I just be like, well, how come they're doing well? Come to find out, as we're sharing tips and stuff, right? They had cushion. They had more financial resources. There were other people that came from more financial resources than I had access to. So while I was talking with them and we are playing the same game of like, yeah, X, Y, and Z, this is what's going on, they had cushions. I didn't. I should have played to my own strengths as opposed to comparing myself to other people. My ego definitely was bruised by me failing. And at the end of it all, I just want to say it is so okay to fail. I think that's actually what ended up helping me. I was like, I failed before. I failed many times before, and I survived. I lived. I lived to see another day. I'll fail today. I'll get up tomorrow. I'll lick my wounds now. I'll chill. I'll bury my head. I'll heal. And when I'm ready, I'll get back up. Just know that no matter what you're going through, it's okay to fail. I'm of the mind of like, well, I want to show you. I'm definitely not where I was those 2 years ago when my business was failing, but I'm definitely also not where I want to be. And I want to be hopefully a testimony, an example to show that you're going to see me succeed. I'm going to bring you with me all the steps that I'm going to do to make sure that we succeed. So that way, when I say, oh my God, so that way, when you see me, right, in the future, you'd be like, oh my gosh, she's got da 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 da. You'd be like, hey, I see where she was. I knew her when she failed. That's kind of what I'm hoping this turns out to be. And it will. When I say it's okay to fail, you know that I'm coming from a place of like, oh, it's not even perfect for her. It's not perfect for me right now. I wish I could show you my room. We're not doing that. I don't know, maybe. I show you where I'm living. I'm showing you the circumstances of what my life is right now. I'm not in the place of someone that's a multimillionaire and has everything. I'm still figuring things out. So I hope that it means a lot when I say, as someone who has recently failed, has failed many times, still doesn't have it together. When I say it's okay to fail, please stress that I mean it. Which brings me to lesson number 3 and the next chapter. This chapter, we're going to call it Redefining Failure because, I saw this thing on TikTok. Your girl lives on TikTok. And I saw this one post where this girl mentioned, when life gives me lemons, I'm okay because I still got my oranges, my apples, and da 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 da. Because I might not have one thing, but I got these other things. And that's what I feel like it means to redefine failure. But if you happen to be the kind of person like me where like it stings a little bit too close to home, it's okay. Just ignore this part. There's a certain time when you just got to go through that heartache and that pain, and it feels very bleak. And someone can tell you it's going to get better. It's okay to fail. And it's going to go over your head because like the pain is just too much. And that's okay too. You got to go through it. But, as you're exiting that phase and you're still like, oh, what am I going to do now? And you're in that type, for you, I want to say, look back at why you failed. Be honest with yourself. And I think it's definitely a mindset shift. I have stopped putting my self worth into accolades and what I do and what I don't do. But ultimately, I think that no matter what you do, you are not the sum of your failures. Learning to define who you are outside of what you do is really, really powerful. That was a mindset shift that happened because of my failures, because I had to get a grip. And that brings me to lesson number 4 and the 4th chapter, which is where I am now. My lesson here is like, lick your wounds, feel your feelings, and when you're ready, get up again. And I think that's just the thing, right? Because no one can tell you when you're ready. And if you're around people who, in the time of you licking your wounds, are adding stress, being negative, causing you to doubt and just like dig your hole deeper, maybe reassess who those people are to you. I mean, you should always have people that are going to keep you accountable, and you should always have people that are not yes men. Bonus lesson, community. Y'all, with my family and friends, like people that helped me, supported me. I know a friend of mine would tell me, Sewa, no man is an island. You can't go through things alone. You've got to have people to rely on. And that sticks to me to this day, because I definitely would not have exited the fallout of my business failing without people. I couldn't do it by myself. After I decided it was time to pivot, obviously I started looking for jobs again. And what I ended up doing was using the fact that I had a business visa. I was just like, okay, I know I don't have it in me to go back into public school in Hagwon in Korea. So I was able to use the fact that I had a business visa and had a different kind of connection. And I got a job in a more corporate side of living here. I'm not going to tell you too much about it because you know how it is out here, honey. Or maybe you don't. But I get to have a different job now, a job I actually like. Now, mind you, I don't believe in working, and it's still my dream to retire by at least the age of 45. As it comes to my attention, I like spending money. I have to be rich. I have to be rich. All of that aside, I like my job. And I don't think I would have ever had this opportunity to work at the kind of job that I have now if I hadn't shifted. I also was very much in survival mode because, I had to figure out something. So for a while there, it was very much touch and go, survival, just apply to any job because what I'm doing is not sustainable. I probably could have renewed my visa. My lawyers told me that it was like possible, but I didn't want to keep suffering. You don't have everything together when your home country is hard enough as it is. Those are the 4 lessons I learned with the whole having a business visa in Korea and having to give up my business visa. Got my visa for a year for the D84, and 7-8 months into it, I was like, this is not sustainable anymore. This channel is all about the in-between. I'm going to document my glow up. I'm putting into faith that what my goals are, what I desire, it's going to become reality. And then when it is reality, you'll be like, she clocked it before it even happened.
I am on my way up.
Yeah, if you like what I'm putting down, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you so wish. It's free. I'm happy you're here. Thanks for watching. Sincerely, Sewa. Let's get back into this. Oh my goodness. Ryu, you will not be my enemy of progress today, kitty.